Superheroes are adored because they have the power to level cities, but are responsible enough to do the right thing. The stories themselves can illustrate common struggles mixed with creative situations. Like your wife complaining how you're never around, even though you're saving the city from an alien invasion, but hey, go f Paul. But they also kick major butt.
Destroy my home. But worst of all, you messed with my kid. So this is gonna hurt.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching, we will be looking at the best DC and Marvel superhero fights. This can span from any type of media, from movies, TV, to even video games. But before you fully jump into that, if you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, it's good to see you again. Alright, let's get into it. Also, this is my opinion, so it's fact-based. Arkham Origins trailer. Deathstroke. What happens when you put two of the most skilled combat fighters in the same universe against each other? Well, Arkham Origins trailer answers that for us. Kind of, not really, because no one really wins the fight, but it's fine, because it looks cool. And because of that coolness, nerds everywhere creamed their pants. I'm so happy you guys got used to the camera being up here because I don't have pants on. In fact, I have a chastity belt on right now. If you don't know what that is, look it up on your family computer. Arkham Origins is the third installment in my favorite game series, the Arkham franchise. However, Origins is a prequel to the events of City and the first game, Asylum. While Warner Bros. Games didn't really need to expand on their promotion of the Arkham series, mainly after the success of City, but even Asylum was groundbreaking. They came out with these CGI cinematic trailers that went so hard, like harder than me right now, if I could get hard, but the chastity belt is of course restricting that. Deathstroke is one of the highest ranked hand-to-hand combatants in the DC universe, often being ranked higher than my boy Batman. And when it comes to that aspect of the fight in this cutscene, you see that, as Deathstroke seems to be so much more agile and just more well-versed in mixed martial arts than Batman. Hell, Batman gets lucky so many times in this trailer. And ooh, mamma mia, when Deadshot gets involved and then Deathstroke just looks behind him and points him out, being like, you little bitch. It just shows the levels of not only the self-destruction of the enemies, of all the villains in Gotham, which is the main reason they never succeed, in my opinion, and plot armor, but it also shows the level of skill the assassins have in Gotham City. While Deadshot never misses his shots, even though he misses quite a bit. Deathstroke is just him, and then Batman is over there getting mollywopped. But looking at Batman, again, we see the plot armor, which is fine in my opinion. If you can't suspend your disbelief about a guy who's just normal with no powers, who dresses up like a bat, who's a billionaire, who doesn't touch kids, besides maybe Robin, but not in that way.
The monster's gone, he's on the run, and your daddy's here.
Then I don't know what to tell you. But Batman takes advantage of every single mistake the enemies make. Like when Deathstroke turns around to Ore Farm, and any hesitation Deathstroke makes, Batman capitalizes on. It's like watching Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. But if they were fighting to the death with swords and then some random dude shot at them. And then they're dressed like a bat and then the other guy dresses like Deadpool, but he has a weird history with teenagers. It's like that. I love when Batman has to fight someone who's not like a super extreme human being, like Superman. No, just give him someone the same level of combat. That's why I love Court of Owls so much. It just works so perfectly, especially showing how smart Batman is. Because if you can't beat him, well, you can't join him either, because that wouldn't be good, even though he's done that multiple times. But it's fine. Hey, here's an idea for superhero storyline. Let's make him evil. Alright, I'm ranting. Next fight.
Asshole!
Batman vs Superman. Batman. Hush. 2019's Batman. Hush. It's an animated Batman movie, placed roughly 10 to 15 years in Batman's career, and it follows the Cape Crusader as he fights off some of his most famous antagonists, all in the pursuit of a mysterious new villain using people like the Joker and Ra's al Ghul as pawns in his game.
You're seeing another villain already? I thought we had something special.
Shut up, freak!
This bitch got me paying off.
And that villain being the latter part of the title. Hush. And throughout that mystery of trying to find out who Hush is, as well as stopping his plan of destroying Gotham City, shocker,
I will be taking over the city.
Batman teams up with the likes of Catwoman as well as Superman. It's a fun watch, and I personally love this animation style. The DC animated universe was my bread and butter, and I miss that style so much. I think one of the more underrated movies that has this animation style that's in the DC universe is Justice League Doom. And I'm not saying that because it has John Constantine and Zatanna in it. I'm not saying that because of her. Definitely not. But it dives into magic and Batman aura farming against demons.
Boo.
Now to wind it back to the point of this pick, in the Justice League, there's a man named Superman, and that's really cool, but he always turns evil somehow, which is also really cool. I have an idea for another comic book. Let's make Superman evil again. Let's just completely make everyone think Superman is a dumb broad and has no morals. I like that. Or we can make him aura farm and not save anyone. That's really cool too. Let's just waste a great Superman and not have him be the character at all. Go to Afghanistan, Boy Scout.
GI, your government has abandoned you. They have ordered you to die. GI, do not trust them.
In Batman Hush, Superman is just another pawn in the game of Hush's plan, as he was able to convince
This herbicide bomb will make nasty work of you and your pets.
Poison Ivy to control Superman and try to do her bidding. And in so, Batman with Catwoman have to fend off a pissed off Superman who is mind controlled.
Kill them. Tell me you have a plan.
Yes. Run.
The reason I like this fight so much is because I think it represents both of the characters perfectly well, as well as their relationship with each other. Granted, Superman is under mind control, it still shows his character underneath. Hell, Batman even spells out their relationship.
If he wanted, we'd be dead already. Deep down, he's a good person. And deep down, I'm not.
They each won't kill each other, and you can see that because Superman didn't turn Batman and Catwoman into red mist. But Batman is willing to take it farther than may be deemed morally acceptable.
Hey! What are you doing?
Moreover, I think the combat itself is perfect for these two. Like, Superman pretty much is wiping the floor with him. And Batman is being tactical and more aggressive because he kinda has to be. Superman mainly relies on his strength. He doesn't have the hands like so many other combatants in the DC universe. He's just mainly strong. That's not a dig or anything, but if you give someone like Deathstroke Superman's powers, I think the DC universe would be over pretty quickly. And ultimately, Superman is going to win that fight most of the time if Batman doesn't have plot armor or a nuke of kryptonite. But Batman is conniving and plot armor, as he knows that Superman and Clark Kent are still a good human being, and that he will do nothing to stop one of his loved ones from dying. So Batman thinks to himself, let's throw his wife off of a skyscraper. I just think it illustrates the characters so well. Fun combat, non-cringy superhero banter, which is just so good. It's so nice to be reminded of what good banter sounds like in a superhero film.
Was that really necessary?
Yes.
Thanks Marvel for making me forget that. Whenever Superman is shown to actually beat Batman, I appreciate it. And whenever Batman pulls out his last Hail Mary, that usually works because he's so smart, I appreciate that even more, especially if it's not him screaming Martha.
Why did you say that name?
What is my name?
Martha! Why did you say that name?
Hello? Can Spider-Man come out to play?
Can the Spider-Man come out to play?
Spider-Man vs Green Goblin. Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home is the third installment in the Marvel Tom Holland era of Spidey. Yet because of Wizardry and Sony finally not being a it brought in characters from the Amazing Spider-Man, as well as the OG Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, becoming a huge fan service film, and to some that may be a bit of a con when it comes to this entry of Spider-Man, as many felt that they cared more about showing us all the characters we loved rather than telling a story. I'd argue that it was integral for Marvel and Spider-Man to move forward with their story and leave Iron Man behind. The merging of the universes means characters like Green Goblin are back, even though the last time we saw him, this is not that one.
Peter.
This one. He's becoming a little kebab.
Oh.
And I just want to glaze William Dafoe real quick, because I think it is one of the best casting of all time. Him as Green Goblin, I think, is comparable to Heath Ledger's Joker. Granted, we've only seen one other interpretation of Green Goblin, at least in live action, and it wasn't good. But William Dafoe is the embodiment of Norman Osborn. And in my humble opinion, which is fact like I stated earlier, he's Spider-Man's arch nemesis. He is the one who usually pushes Spider-Man past his lengths. Not a dig at anyone else like the guy who went into Spider-Man's body and it was kind of weird. Not kinda, it was really weird. But Goblin is always so aggressive and trying to ruin Spider-Man's day. As seen here, when Peter is trying to help all the villains send them back to their universes and make sure that they're going to be okay. Spidey's being that naive little hero that wants to do good for everyone, including the people that's tried to kill him in different dimensions. But Goblin over here has different plans. And mind you, this is after Spider-Man was able to calm everyone down and use some sedations on the ones who needed it, like him. So everyone should be reasonable. The fight is short, but it's sweet. And that's okay. Right, ladies? The briefness of the fight doesn't negate the representation of the characters. Goblin being conniving as ever, while also showing he's always going to be a loose cannon. And of course, violent as ever. All while being able to convince some other enemies of Spider-Man to be like, nah, screw this. I know you're trying to save us and all, but I'm going to try to kill you in this universe. And on that note, Peter's still holding out hope, for as long as he possibly can. Even the intro of the scene, with Peter sensing something wrong, and Goblin admiring the Spidey sense that he's got going on.
That's some neat trick. That sense of yours.
It's just a perfect interaction between the two. And of course, a fight includes combat. And the combat here is just so good. Spider-Man being acrobatic and spider-like, even crawling on him at one point, it's just mwah. And I really love the showcase of Goblin's strength. While it was seen in the first Spider-Man film, in 2002, I don't think a lot of people understood that Green Goblin is almost as strong, if not stronger, than Spider-Man. Which is a big reason why Spider-Man is okay with letting out some power against him. He knows he can take the hit. And finally, on my point of Green Goblin being Spider-Man's greatest villain, Goblin meets Peter in strength and brains in many instances, but most importantly, he pushes Peter past his own moral lengths. As this fight scene ends with Aunt May getting killed by the Green Goblin. I really love whenever one fight scene can depict the character and their unique personalities so perfectly. I also love when the superhero is just like, alright, time to just mollywop on you. Like, yeah, quit holding back. You don't always have to be a superhero, especially when no one's watching. Spider-Man vs Doc Ock. Train fight. Spider-Man 2. The best fight scene in comic book movie history lies within 2004's Spider-Man 2, directed by Sam Raimi, with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man against Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, one of the greatest Spider-Man villains of all time. And being so, Octavius over here knows how to get under Spidey's skin, like messing with his family, which always goes well. I'm sure he wasn't trying to kill him or anything right there. Spider-Man doesn't do that. Doc Ock is on his road to revenge against Spider-Man, as he blames Spidey for his nuclear fusion fiasco. And he makes things personal by not only involving citizens of New York, there they go, but also Spidey's lady, but not lady. Because she's just so awesome. But Doc Ock also goes after Aunt May, and someone just needs to give that old lady a break.
But deliver us.
In that pursuit of revenge, Ock rampages through New York as Spider-Man does his best to stop him, fighting him from skyscrapers to the infamous train that Spidey will soon have to defend as well as stop. But before saving it, we watch as Spider-Man is in his agile and spider-like prime. Something I love when the Spider-Man movies focus on. Like, don't make Spider-Man just stand still and punch. Make him do moves that hurt my back just watching it. On this fight, they play on the terrain perfectly. I already showed them on the skyscraper, using the dial from the clock to genuinely try to kill each other, which I love. I'm sick of heroes just fighting like they're just trying to punch each other and injure them. You guys hate each other. Kill him. And of course the notorious train itself, with Spidey getting thrown in and out of it, while Doc Ock also throws civilians to their death. And something that a lot of directors I feel like forget in superhero movies, but the superhero actually saves civilians, and we see it happen. That's nice. And as Spidey is saving people, he still keeps up with Doc Ock, throwing punches left and right, finally crescendoing to the point of Spidey being maskless. Stopping the tracks using the strength and pure determination, and a sexy ass duck face. I said it once and I'll say it again, it's a perfect representation of each of the characters' relationships with each other in one fight scene. Each of them are pushing each other to the limits. and having some of the best fluidity between two of the most agile characters out there. It's just a pants-changing fight, in the good way, of course.
Dogs in restaurants are unsanitary.
Bullseye vs Daredevil. Daredevil, born again. Have you ever wanted to see a character who is solely out to get the main protagonist? And not so much kill them right away, but rather torture them by showing them how few people they can actually save? Well, Bullseye is the guy for you. An assassin who can use anything as a fatal weapon, who has an extreme grudge match going on with Blind Man Matt over here, aka Daredevil, and proving that Bullseye is Daredevil's most sadistic arch nemesis. In Daredevil Born Again, we see Benjamin Poindexter murder Foggy Nelson, Matt Murdock's closest friend, and yeah, spoiler alert, you've had like a couple years, it's fine. And Bullseye isn't done there. The fight that ensues with Daredevil trying to stop Bullseye from just causing terror feels like a terror attack. It feels so perfect for the series as well as Bullseye and Daredevil. Daredevil's a street hero, so make his villains' attacks feel real and heavy. I get that Fisk is more like, I have power in the government and everything's corrupt. I'm kind of tired of that kind of storyline, but it's fine. But give me someone who's willing to just murder people outright and doesn't care that the law sees him as a bad guy. Like the fella who's throwing pool balls and murdering people with them. Give me that. The attack feels so heavy because Bullseye's intent is inflicting the most amount of pain to Daredevil. And while physically he definitely does that, turning Daredevil into a pincushion. Bullseye does not let up on murdering innocents, and throughout the fight it feels like each of them get the upper hand on the other multiple times. There's movements from Daredevil that make it feel like he's practically begging Bullseye to stop killing people. And later on in the fight, when Bullseye gets tired, from getting beat up from a blind man and murdering people, it seems like he's just throwing desperate throws out there to kill people before Daredevil can reach him. All leading up to Daredevil winning, even though it feels like Bullseye kinda knew that was gonna happen. Seemingly like it's a suicide mission. But the mission was a success, seeing how he made Foggy unfog, if you know what I'm saying. He murdered him. And the murderous rampage all throughout the fight isn't the only notable thing. The agile fluidity is shown with Daredevil's combat. He's much more of an acrobat when it comes to his fighting. He mixes that in with mixed martial arts. Meanwhile, the marksman over there is using all of the blades in his suit, as well as anything in his surrounding to just dome people. It shows both of the characters' styles so perfectly, while also showing that they're each toe-to-toe with that unique style. And finally, they're just each men. So as the fight progresses, they each lose more and more stamina, and endurance, as well as just health. They're each bleeding out pretty badly. And on the notion of Bullseye having this mission in his head, Daredevil does win this fight, but it doesn't feel like that. And the laugh from Bullseye right before getting thrown off the roof just symbolizes the type of enemy Bullseye is to Daredevil. He's like Reverse Flash. He just hates Daredevil. Wilson Bethel is just perfect for the role. And speaking of Reverse Flash, I think that's a perfect casting right there. Oh, even better, you could do RDJ again. Yeah! That'd be really cool.
I'm gonna fight you now. Oh, are you?
Deadpool vs Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine. An unstoppable force versus an immovable object. But one has a mouth and the other is drunk and pissed off. Who beats who? Deadpool and Wolverine from 2024 is the third installment of the Deadpool franchise, starring Ryan Reynolds as the Merc with the Mouth. Take me back to the 2014 leak, back when 12-year-old me didn't know what creamy in the pants meant, but I did it. My hype as a 12-year-old kid who had just played the Xbox game of Deadpool, which I don't have anymore, and that makes me really, really sad. My hype was at an all-time high. And if you were to tell my child self that one day Wolverine would finally have his comic book accurate suit in a Deadpool movie, in fact the third installment of a Deadpool movie, he'd also be jumping with joy with all his fat flaps flying everywhere. The two characters, infamously known to not be able to die, or at least easily, team up to try to save Wade Wilson's universe, as well as fixing this variant of Wolverine's world. But anyone teamed up with Deadpool longer than, 5 minutes usually become like a frenemy, and Wolverine isn't so much the frenemy type. As it is a guarantee that Deadpool will annoy any companion that he has around him. Spidey being the one with the most patience with him, but even then, he gets pretty annoyed. Meanwhile, Wolverine isn't too keen on listening to the Merc with the mouth off. This entry might be more influenced because of recency bias, as well as these two characters being some of my favorite X-Men characters. Nightcrawler is on top though, of course. And side note, fuck the guy who made Deadpool mouthless. Let's just get rid of the blue skin on Nightcrawler and he can't teleport anymore. In fact, give him a unicycle. Deadpool and Wolverine, I think, nailed the two fighting capabilities of each character perfectly. Deadpool being the swordsman and more acrobatic and agile, while Wolverine's more of a tank and will just deal with the blows as they come. And his attack is much more of a brute force method. And I said it earlier, but the two characters who are known to not be able to die easily, they get messed up by each other, which is perfect. I want to see that. I want to see injuries. It would have been better if one of them got their head cut off or a limb cut off, but it's fine. The showcase that each of these two can take so many lethal blows and still be okay was just perfect. My special sock had to be replaced multiple times.
Get your special sock out, nerd.
Especially when the animalistic charge of Wolverine happened. Zoo wee mama. It was just the cherry on the cake of watching Wolverine act like a Wolverine. I love that we're finally moving towards more comic accurate representation in movies. Like obviously the suit.
That only took 20 fucking years.
The earlier X-Men movies pissed me off so bad because I just thought they were boring. I was younger, I was a child, there was no color to them. No color at all. I grew up with this, and then I got this. Like, yeah, looking back as an adult, the movies were okay. As a child who loved superheroes, the hell?
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Yes! Yes!
I'm so happy the Green Lanterns aren't green. I'm not judging too early on that show, but at the same time, it's like, you didn't give me much to be excited for. It looks like a cop show. That's cool. Why is there a Green Lantern ring in there? Oh, it's Green Lantern show? Okay. Space cops doing cop work on Earth. Also, if Lanterns fails, it's going to be like another decade until we get a Green Lantern interpretation. So please, please, James Gunn, please. We don't need a CGI suit, but at the same time, I'd like to see some green. That's all. You have a perfect Lantern casting in my opinion. He's so good. Don't fuck it up. And those were some of my picks for the best DC and Marvel superhero fights. If you enjoyed any of them, then leaving a like really helps me out. And if you think I missed one, then let me know down below. If you think I earned your subscription, then make sure you hit subscribe before you head out. Alright, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.